Hello and welcome to Blood on the Tamesis, a Vampire the Masquerade Chronicle set in Oxfordshire, England, 2001. With me tonight,
Bex playing Velvet from Clan Ventry.
Lane playing Joanne Salt of Clan Torridor.
And Carlos playing Theodore Penn of Clan Ventru.
So sadly Phil can't be with us tonight because he has fallen victim to a terrible illness, but hopefully we'll be back with us next week. So hi Phil, if you're watching,
Hey.
Hope you get better soon.
Everybody send good vibes to Phil.
So before we get cracking on episode 3 of Blood on the Tamesis, I just want to talk a little bit about one of our homebrew rules, which is around convictions. So for those of you watching, not quite knowing what we're talking about, convictions are things that vampires have. They are beliefs about the world, and they enable them to hold on to their humanity. And if they do things that maybe are questionable and might earn them stains upon their soul, if they have a conviction that they can justify the action, then they can say, no, wait a minute, my character believes this to be true, and they can fend off the stains. So last session, we had a situation where Theodore committed an action that earned him a stain because he went against his lord in that situation, which was Sally. And however, although he did that, he did it for things that his vampire believed in, which was around disobedience is dishonour, and so he could play his conviction against that stain. So that's how it normally works in the rules. Where things are going to be different here is that once you've used a conviction to fend off a stain, then what happens is that conviction to some degree is spent or exhausted. And the vampire that's used that conviction will start to feel a pull or a desire to go and find the mortal that is connected to that conviction. So again, these things are called touchstones in V5, do check them out, there is all very interesting stuff. But because vampires are dead, they cannot hold convictions in their unbeating hearts. They need to anchor them in a living mortal somewhere else. So what we're going to do in this version of the rules is when a vampire has used a conviction, they are kind of drawn to the mortal that conviction is connected to hopefully give us some good fun role playing. Now in this particular example with Theodore, the touchstone connected to that conviction is Miyuki, and those people who saw last session will note that Theodore started spending lots of extra time with Miyuki at every chance he got because he was trying to reconnect with that conviction, with that belief, by spending time with her and being reminded why it is that she sort of embodies that thing and helping to kind of reawaken it in himself. So
It's like a battery is spent and then you have to refill it.
yeah.
So pretty much that.
So putting the heart and soul back into convictions. So we're going to start off pretty much where we left off at the end of episode 2. And that is with Theodore getting ready for the day and getting smart because this is quite a big day. But when he looks in the mirror just to check his appearance, he finds something that is not himself staring back. So what you see, Theodore, is the silhouette of some kind of gaunt, old figure, and the place where the eyes should be just seem to be pits. It is like something straight out of a horror movie for an instant, and then in the next instant, it is you. It is you.
I start pacing.
Okay.
Just feeling with my tie.
Miyuki will not say anything, but she is watching you.
Did she see it? Was she near me one night?
She was near you, she wasn't looking in the mirror. Or at least you don't think she was. Ken-san?
I think I'm a little anxious for tonight. It's okay, no matter. Have you given Lady Isabel, have you let her know that I'm ready?
I'll let her know now, Ken-san.
Thank you.
She goes out. So just to remind you, by the way, it is Thursday the 25th of October. And today is the day where you are going to be going to meet the prince. There is a court on, and you will have been told by your sires that it is in the Natural History Museum in Oxford. So it's in the city itself. And Lady Isabel obviously is, as you recall her, is informed that you are ready, and you will get into a car and you will begin to drive. Is there anything you are saying to her on the drive itself?
Actually, yes.
Just before you do, because this is a swanky evening, can you just let people who are watching along know what Theodore is wearing to his first court?
So for his court, he's wearing a tailored 3-piece suit. Pretty much similar to what I'm wearing right now, with a light blue shirt and a black striped tie. He's wearing cufflinks. They are black pearls, gift from Isabel, who's wearing pendants and necklace matching, and she's wearing herself a sky blue dress as well.
Yeah, these are coordinated vampires going to this event. And as ever, she is impeccably dressed and made up. And the makeup that she wears does make her appear slightly more human. You know, she will rouge her cheeks, and she will, and the tones she uses make her seem less corpse-like. I should add, your sires will have ensured that you are not very hungry on the run-up. That does not mean they've made you murder people, so you'll be on hunger 1. But you will not be excessively hungry. However, have I made you make rouse checks for today?
No.
I don't think I have, so you should make those rouse checks.
Yeah.
Yay.
No one's hungrier than 1.
Good.
That's good.
It's the first rouse check I've passed.
Congratulations. So you are in a car in the back with Isabel. The quality of the car is such the noise of the outside is deadened, and it feels very calm and peaceful in here. And she is sitting very poised, very, very calm, very open to anything you wish to say.
This is a very important night for us. I think I'm feeling it. I think I'm feeling the stress of it. It's something I have not been used in ages. Like, I haven't been like this. And I check behind her my reflection on the window of the car.
Okay.
Just to do.
Can you make me a, let's see, a resolve and awareness roll, please? So whilst you're looking at your reflection, she says, is there anything I can do to assist with your nerves?
4 successes.
Okay, obviously your reflection is in the kind of the glass of the car, so it's not like a mirrored reflection, not perfect.
No.
But there is something about it that is not right. You are sure of it. It does look pretty much like you, but it's hard. Maybe it's that the edges of it aren't quite right, or maybe it's that the reflection of your face looks slightly too gaunt, as if it's the face of an older man or something. It's hard to pinpoint exactly, but what you know is your reflection should not look like this. That is something you can say with certainty.
Apologies. I think I've been seeing things. I'm not quite sure the last person I fed from. I don't know. Probably something they had.
Theodore, as you say, this is a very important night. Collect your thoughts. Whatever it is you have to say it.
I think I saw my death.
You saw your death.
He was looking at me in my reflection. Its eyes were black pits.
When was this?
Earlier, when I was getting ready. And sort of, it's like it's on the edge of my vision whenever I look at even my reflection behind you in the in the window.
Even now?
Sort of. It doesn't look quite right. I don't know. You tell me. You have to. Am I losing this? The last person I fed from, were they using anything? I heard this drug, dream they call it, the Thinbloods. We're dealing with it. I don't know.
Did you feed on any of the Thinbloods?
No.
Did you feed on any others, any kind around?
No, you know they would not suit my palate.
I know. I can see that this has troubled you. Let me assure you, there is time before our meeting at court. Time before you will see the prince. And this is to be a very quiet and intimate meeting that we will have as Bloodline.
Thanks.
Whatever is troubling you, I'm sure it can be explained, and I'm sure that by the time you are about to meet the prince, you will be able to put this behind you, or at least it will not worry you as it does now.
Thanks. And as I play with my hands, I sort of have a peek on the black pearls on the cufflinks and how they would remind me of the black eyes, so I would just stop looking at my hands.
Yeah, they do remind you. I mean, they don't have quite the depth, but it's reminiscent enough to bother you, and you do feel like something is wrong. Whatever you saw there was something clearly supernatural about it. And you've seen a lot of things. You're not the kind of person that imagines stuff. You kind of know what you believe and trust in your own senses. However, despite the fact that you are very disturbed, Isabel seems as calm as ever, and that does help a little. She seems to be acting like this will all be fine.
Okay. Just
So
follow our lead.
you continue to drive, and I'll come back to you in a moment. So let's go to you, Velvet. What are you wearing in preparation for this?
Have I received direction about what to wear? beyond looking tidy.
You will have been told. You will have been told to wear the best of your Sunday best.
Yep.
And you will have been told to spare no expense.
Okay, then that's what I've done. I will have had a suit tailored, even if I have to pay extra. If it's a short time frame, it'll be whatever is the current most accepted fashion. It'll be a black suit, probably with a red shirt.
Okay.
It's got a gold type-in, which has got my family motto engraved on it. Sits on my family signet ring.
Yes.
Brush my hair, etc., etc. So I look as good as I can look.
So a car will come. You will recognise the car.
Can I meet it out the front of my house?
You can.
I'll do that.
And the door will open for you as you approach. Wallace will be sitting in the back.
Get in the back.
You will note that he is also dressed very, very smartly.
Okay.
And looks like he's wearing some kind of very old-fashioned dress uniform.
Right.
And he waits for you to get in and for the doors to shut. There is in this car a screen that separates you from the driver.
Okay, yeah.
So you can. It seems like you can speak safely about things should you wish. And Wallace will examine you. It makes no secret of the fact that he's examining what you're wearing, and after a few moments says, "That is acceptable."
Well, I'm glad to hear it.
Are you feeling prepared tonight?
Sure. I know exactly what is expected of me. I know what you want me to do. So, yeah, I'm prepared.
Well, you've still got a little bit of time before meeting the prince. And I would suggest that you think long and hard about any questions you might want to ask either myself or your family, your new family, that you're going to meet very shortly.
What's the etiquette for this encounter?
Well, it's a very relaxed meeting. We're all gathering to talk about family business before the court. So you don't have to be on your best of your best. Except you do. See now, this is going to be the first time they set eyes on you, and I want that first impression to count. You're going to be meeting my sire. You're going to be meeting the rest of his line.
Anything in particular I should know about him?
He's a man that likes to talk straight, and he has high hopes for you, Velvet, just like I do. But the purpose of the meeting is not to put you in a difficult place. The purpose is so that when we go into court, we are going in the same direction. And so that when you meet the prince, you will have the benefit of our family's wisdom, in addition to my own. So you can ask what you need to ask there, and you will get a great deal of wisdom.
Alright.
It also means after you have been accepted by the prince, at least to the next step. But when you do go into court, you will know some faces, and you will know who you can go to if things are difficult, or you have other questions that come up.
Alright. Well, what about this meeting with the prince? Am I supposed to, beyond the oath that you told me, am I supposed to say or do anything? Is he going to ask me anything that I should know about?
Well, that depends on the prince. But I would say so. I would say he will say something to you. If he doesn't ask you anything, that means he does not care. And that is not a good sign.
Right.
But it is traditional for the prince to ask something. So I would expect something. Of course, Prince don't ask the same question to everybody. Likes to keep us on our toes.
I imagine not. Alright, well, I guess we should get it over with.
No, we should not get it over with, Velvet. What we should do is we should excel at it.
We can do both at the same time, right?
No, you can excel at it.
Alright.
This is not the night for you to try flexing your independence, because you do not yet have independence. You will earn that independence over time. This is not that time. Am I making myself as clear as crystal to you?
Got it.
Yes, sir, you got it. And he sits back in the car. Are you saying anything else to him?
No.
Okay.
Got the mood whiplash there, going from Wallace to Peter was...
Alright. So, talking of happy encounters, let's go to Joanne. What is Joanne wearing for her first night court?
So she's had her hair straightened, so it's not as, actively rebellious. Only comes down to about here, rather than... She's also wearing a very light grey dress, which is kind of meshed and transparent on the top with rhinestones, and comes in at the waist and flows all the way down to just above the ankle, and some matching heels to go with.
Okay.
She's not at all comfortable wearing this sort of thing, but make good first impressions.
So, Barnaby is wearing what he always wears. I mean, maybe he's gone a little bit more full on the makeup. You think that his face looks more dramatic than normal. He's definitely taken some extra care with his lipstick and things like that. But otherwise, no, he's pretty much dressed as he was his. Maybe it's a slightly cleaner. No, you're imagining it. No, he just looks the same. He looks the same. So yeah, he will. I say he comes to meet you, but of course he's staying at your flat at the moment, so he's there when you wake. And he looks slightly agitated, maybe. You notice that his attention seems like it's flitting from things a little bit more than normal. He says, "So, all ready?"
I think so. It's not a situation that I thought I'd find myself in, but we're here. Got to make the best of it.
Yeah. Yeah, the best of it, yeah. Right, is there anything you want to ask me? Good. Alright, well then let's go, shall we?
No, you've given me a lot of information, a lot more than you did before over the last few days, so...
Oh, yeah, about that. If you can tell, like if they ask, if Isabel or Finn ask, actually, or Sally ask, you should tell them that you've stopped working as a doctor now.
Why?
Well, because they don't like it. Basically. So I've told them that you've stopped. So as long as you tell them the same, then you can do what you want. But don't get caught. Because they're not very happy about it. Look, I trust you. I know you can handle it. But you know what they're like. Traditions, rules, that kind of thing.
I suppose I do now.
Well, the thing is that you know how it's difficult when you're close to blood. Well, they would see it as a masquerade risk. Do you understand?
And that's the first and most important of the traditions, if I'm understanding correctly. Yes.
Yeah. But they didn't look. I saw you after you became one of us, and you could handle it. Look, let me tell you, most don't. Most are a mess. Most of them, they're screaming and running around trying to feast on people. It's awful. But you were really, look, I knew you could handle it, but they don't trust me. So I just told them, just for the peace, that it was fine.
For what it's worth, I do trust you, so...
Yeah. But if they find out, it will be bad for me. So I'd appreciate it if they ask, you just tell them, of course.
I'll tell them I've sidestepped into research, so I'm...
Yeah, that's...
Not around live patients.
Let's
put it
perfect.
that way.
Yeah, perfect. Great. Right, we should go. I'm sorry in advance, by the way.
That's a good sign.
Yeah.
Also, where are we going?
So we're going to meet my sire.
No, what location are we heading to?
Oh, we're going to the Natural History Museum.
Okay. Call a taxi?
Okay.
Get us there.
He says, oh, you mean where are we meeting my sire, not where the court is?
Both?
Well, the court is at the Natural History
Okay.
Museum, but it's the science library we're going to go to first.
I'll be right at home.
Great. So, you call, a cab will come, will drive you there. You will note that Barnaby does his normal kind of staring out the window, not talking to you. Is there anything you're saying to him on the journey before you get there?
No, now that I know where I'm going,
You're a bit happier.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to kind of bounce a bit back and forth between you as you go to have your family meetings.
Oh my god.
So let's actually, I'll carry on with you a little bit, Joanne.
Yep.
Just briefly. So you will start coming into the city itself, and into a very nice part of the city. Just because we're using the homesteading rules. So for reference, while you're in this area, assuming that you're availing yourself of any of the various resources available to you, you get bonuses to academics and science. Woo!
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah, it is pretty sweet. You will see lots of lovely architecture, and you will get a glimpse of the museum itself, which, of course, Joanne will know is a Victorian neo-Gothic. She's quite educated.
Yep.
And you will see its kind of high arch roof, which you will know is glass. You will be taken to the library, and when you get to the library, of course, is shut at this time. However, as you're approaching, the door will be opened by a man in his early 20s, who has got kind of like buzzed sides to his hair and has what looks like a little chain earring in his right ear. And he's wearing quite a fashionably cut business suit.
I just make a remark of, well, they never let me back in here when I was alive this time.
So when you approach, you notice they are, although they look at you, what they actually start doing is looking past you for a few moments, and then they give you and Barnaby a nod, and you come to meet them. And Barnaby looks at them, and they look at Barnaby, and then Barnaby sighs and says, he says, Joanne, this is Thorn, Joanne. And the man holds out his hand.
Shake it. Not good to meet you.
He says, yeah, and you. So, you ready for tonight?
I think so.
He says, no, I can see you are. He looks at Barnaby. Barnaby says, yeah, I'm fine. We're going to get this over with. And Thorn says, yeah, sure. He's inside waiting. He says, this way. And then you step inside. Inside the library, you've got these sort of arched, kind of sloping, like mini arches in the roofs, and the walls and things are quite a kind of a striking white with natural wood bookcases. It's all very open. It's very you like it here. It feels nice in here, and you feel quite kind of reassured. And Thorn will lead you and Barnaby across the library until you come to what looks like a reading booth, but there are chairs for you. And you can see someone sitting at the table kind of waiting. He looks to be in his late 20s. He's got a pale, slender face. He's wearing a drawstring black shirt with black kind of lacy cuffs. And you'll note that there is a very slender, very elegant, very light looking silver chain that runs from his right wrist to his left wrist. He is attractive. He has quite long hair, which is dark. There are kind of dark edges to his eyes. There is a sort of haunted look to this man. And when you approach, he is kind of sitting with his elbows on the table and his kind of head in his hands. But as you get closer, he'll look up, and Thorn gives Barnaby an elbow, and Barnaby says, "This is Alistair, my sire." And he looks at Alistair and he says, "This is Joanne." And Alistair stands up and comes around the table and holds out his hand to you.
Again, take it.
He takes your hand and he says, "Joanne," and he pulls your hand to his lips. He says, "We have so much to talk about."
I think we do, yes.
And I'll come back to you in a minute. So, meanwhile, you are, Theodore, not going to the library.
Hopefully.
You are going to St John's College, which is quite close to the History Museum.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the private rooms will have been booked. You will be taken by Isabel, who seems to know where she's going, into this room. It's quite kind of, it feels like a sort of a weird mix between a kind of study and a conference room.
Okay.
There are quite comfortable chairs. There is a longish table, but you're only using like the top part of it. In the room is only one other person who you will recognise, and that is Meliore. So for those people who have not yet encountered Meliore, She is a woman who looks to be in her mid-50s, and she has got long grey hair and looks extremely gaunt. She is wearing a black, figure-hugging, long dress. It's not super flattering in that she is quite bony, but nevertheless, she's wearing it with no fucks to give. And it's very striking because she is super pale and gaunt, and it's a very strong black that she's got, and she's got kind of black earrings to set it off, and so she's very kind of like black, white, and grey between her hair and her skin and her outfit, and there's no other colour there kind of whatsoever. When you arrive, she smiles and says, "Theodore."
Lady Miliori, and I approach her so she can give me the hello, the 2 kisses, and the whole
She will take your head in both hands. Her fingers are freezing, by the way. She will kiss you on each cheek, mwah, mwah, and then stands back and examines you. And she says, "You look well."
Thank you very much. How have you been?
I have been very well, thank you. Sit, please. So you will kind of sit down, Isabel, and she will greet each other.
Mm-hmm.
She again is quite kind of, she will kiss Isabel in greeting. Isabel returns it, but is more restrained, you note. And they will sit down. And Meliore says, "You look well, Theo."
Thank you very much. It's an important night.
Indeed. And how are you finding being a vampire?
Different. But in some ways, good different. I find myself still getting the hang of it, if you will. I do believe that the worst has passed.
She smiles. And then Isabel says, "On that note, I think it's begun." Meliore says, "I was beginning to wonder. Tell me, how has it happened?" And Isabel says, "Tell Meliore what you have told me." In the car. There are no secrets between family.
Oh, of course. I just didn't want to troll you, Lady Miliore. It's a minor thing. I think it's either the stress or something. I thought I saw something in my reflection earlier tonight. It's not a big deal.
Something?
Yeah, it's like as if I was seeing myself, but it wasn't me. It was different. As if I think it's just exhaustion.
Different how?
Oh, paler, haunter, darker. The eyes were black. Not like the night.
Like what then?
Like death.
She and Isabel exchange a look. Meliore says, "Tell him," and then she sits back. Isabel says, "We understand what you're going through."
Is this common amongst our bloodline?
Yes.
I mean, I've heard of. I believe the sons of Malkav. I haven't met many. I'm afraid. They also have this sort of afflictions. Is this related to our predilections for certain blood? I'm not sure what's going on.
It is true that those of Clan Malkavian do sometimes perceive things that others cannot. Indeed, there are several bloodlines of several clans that have differing ways to perceive a supernatural world.
Oh.
However, that is not the thing to which we are referring.
So it's not an enhanced perception through the powers of the blood.
It is not an enhanced perception, no. Allow me to demonstrate. She goes into her handbag, and because you see her sometimes, she does her makeup like a hand mirror. You'll see that she takes it out, and she will present the mirror reflective side towards you. And again, when you see it, it's easier now you know what to look for. It's not quite as striking as that flash that you had, but now that you're looking at it, something does not look right. And the more you look, in some ways, the worse it starts to get. And you find yourself, like, the memory of that image coming back to you, almost as if, and then the sense of fear with it. That if you keep looking, maybe that the eyes are going to get so dark again, maybe the face is going to change completely. Are you continuing to stare at it?
No.
Okay, so you break with that sense of this could be bad, this could be bad. She says, it is an affliction of sorts. Please stand up and come behind me.
I do as she says.
There's something I need to share with you. So you come round to her side, so you're now kind of looking over her shoulder, and she's got the mirror. Again, you can see part of yourself that looks slightly odd. But what strikes you most is that when you look into the mirror, you can't really see her very clearly. You can see the shape of her in the mirror, but it's like the light is dimmer, as if she's in a half-lit room rather than a fully lit room looking into the mirror. And after a moment, she puts the mirror face down on the table and says, "You can sit down." She says, "It is an affliction of the bloodline. And
Is that bad?
It is something that requires some context and a little bit of history. She glances at Meliore. We're not sure whether your blood would manifest this curse, this aspect of the curse, or not. We did hope that perhaps you would be spared it.
Has anyone been spared before?
Not usually, at least not in a way that does not lead them on a... Our bloodline is very strong, and it is possible for those of weaker blood for the curse to diminish, and ultimately lead to something like a Duskborn, but that is something we would not expect from us.
And this is just our bloodline, or everybody in our clan? Velvet, I mean, Mr. Riley, is also from the line of Sir Enolf, and I turn to Meliore, like, your sire, lady.
She gives you a smile.
Is that something exclusive to our side of, let's call it, family tree? I am...
Isabel says, for now, with other pressing matters, it is best for you to know that this is something that we bear as a curse, and it is something that we take great pains to hide from the rest of Oxfordshire.
Understood.
You may wonder why I carry a mirror at all. It is to deflect suspicion. And you will find that it is not just that your reflection that may trouble you. You may also find other difficulties. For example, you may find using a microphone may not work so well for you.
Okay.
You may find that if your image was to be caught on a camera, it would not hold so well. And for those reasons, you should avoid cameras and microphones and telephones.
I did have issues making myself understood over the phone a few weeks ago.
As I say, we wondered if this would come up at all, and that's why we've never raised it. We wanted to see what would happen. Meliore says, "It is Margot's blood. I told you." Well, says, Meliore believes, because your pathway to becoming one of us is quite unique, quite special, that is the reason why this aspect of the curse is not yet manifested. But it is different for all of us.
Oh, okay. So we're hiding it from the rest of Oxfordshire.
Yes.
Does that include upwards toward our bloodlines or even the prince?
Meliore says, Sir Enolf knows.
Okay.
No one else.
So I am not to reveal it to the prince under any circumstance.
She smiles. Yes, Theodore, exactly.
Okay. Internally screaming and crying. Trying to, like, Theodore is trying to make sense of how to keep this to himself. There is a prince, he hasn't met him, but he's gonna swear his loyalty. Okay, so I think I'm visibly distressed by this. I'm trying to, like, I'm not saying that I'm not gonna have misplaced loyalties, but I don't feel I can give my best to a prince that I have to hide things from.
Isabel says, it is not anything that will be an issue for the prince. It will not affect your ability to serve him. Or the city.
Great. That is most reassuring.
Indeed, it is most important that you serve well.
I will.
When this business is out of the way, we will speak further about this matter and what needs to be done and what we hope you will do for our bloodline.
Yes, absolutely.
But for now, the important thing is that no one else know.
Sure. No one will.
Meliore says, and what of the prince? Do you have things you wish to ask of us?
Well, and I look at Isabel, and I remember when you came to visit my former sire, my former lord, and I discussed with you the whole traditional thing when you show up, the gift given, and all of that. And I just produced the box and I show it to her.
To Isabel?
To Meliore.
Oh, Meliore, yes.
Because I already discussed this with
Yeah.
And I just pass it across the table so she can look at it or examine
She'll
it.
examine it?
And I tell her the basic story of it.
Yeah.
And I let her know, I was like, this is something that would be traditional and customary where I came from. I just wanted to know the relevance of it, because I do wish to pay proper respects, and I want to know how highly does he regard being true to traditions.
The prince is very traditional. Isabel says, as I cautioned you before, this is a risky endeavour.
I understand.
Meliore says, bold, Theo. I like it.
Glad you approved.
We must be bold if we are to make progress.
Yes, absolutely.
Isabel, perhaps less enthusiastically, but nevertheless, very, doesn't give much away, just nods. Yes.
So my intention is not to insult the prince by following traditions that are different from the ones in Oxfordshire, but sort of paying homage to what I know and respecting what he is.
Meliore says, like most things in life, it is a matter of flair. Isabel says, assuming you succeed, then it will make you stand out in a good way to the prince. Should you fail, however, you will still stand out. So I suggest you gauge the room when you enter before you make your final decision.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I wouldn't want to. I will go if I feel that the odds are with me.
Meliori says, have you spoken to him, Isabel, about the test? And Isabel says, I wasn't sure you would wish him to, and Meliori just says, waggles a finger, and says, it's Theodore. And Isabel says, there is another tradition known as the test of metal.
Mm-hmm.
Someone who is a petitioner to enter Oxfordshire, once they have sworn the oath and entered court, can request a test of metal from the prince. To be specific, the test of metal involves withstanding a blow from a champion chosen by the prince. If you successfully withstand that blow with honour, then it is seen as a mark of strength of character and can carry favour amongst the knights of Oxfordshire. However, you will be doing this in public in front of the entire court. It is not something anyone is expected to do. You can see Meliore, by the way, while she's looking at you like, yeah, it's going to be great. But yeah, Isabel says, it will be no shame or dishonour to not ask for it.
But actually, I'm smirking, looking at Meliori and Isabel, because, like, I am. This is actually sad to admit. I think even at my physical age, a lot more capable of undergoing that test than just presenting a gift to an elder of such power.
There, you see, Isabel? Yes.
I will read the room and make an assessment.
Isabel says, remember, it is not when you meet the prince himself, it is when you arrive in court and are announced by the herald. From that point onwards, you can make your declaration. Traditionally, it is at that point.
When I'm presented by the herald.
When the attention of the court is upon you, you would then make your request to the prince or the herald for a test of metal. Then it will be up to the prince whether you receive one or not, of course. Is there anything else you wish to speak to us about before we move forward?
Basically, maybe have a short chat about them. Like, how long have they been here? How do they like Oxfordshire? They're like, it's sort of like, since this is the family, you know, the bloodline, you know, yes. mom and grandma. I want to get to know a little bit more of who they are outside blood and clan. Their own things, their own desires.
It's chatting up the fucking mother-in-law.
It's not my mother-in-law, she's my grandma. My grandma, my mom, me.
Okay. It's way less disturbing.
So you have a nice chat with them.
Yeah, it's basically because they know who I am and what I want and my ambitions, but they are all very mortal.
Yes.
And I want to see. I want to know them.
So,
also, especially because what they said is like, this is something that, like, this is something of an affliction, but this just our line.
So Meliore will say, there is another bloodline, Rafe's line. He is a knight. His child, Wallace, is a knight. But we have no knights. It is a terrible shame. Do you know why I am not a knight?
I wouldn't know.
Because our clan has views about women and knighthood. No other clan. Just the Ventry. Terrible King?
Absolutely. It's
Isabel says, of course, it is possible that with the right actions, Meliore would be recognised by the prince regardless. However, there are political pressures that make that very difficult. It is our intention to make the best impression we can and try and change things, but change takes time.
Is there a precedent of any women knight of Oxfordshire?
Oh, there are many women knights of Oxfordshire.
Other than Sir Hulda?
Oh yes, the Bruyere have
But
two.
none on the Ventru.
No. Sir Enolf does not believe it proper. And so it has been very difficult for any of the women of our clan to be recognised by the prince in this fashion.
Understood. Unfair as well.
She says, well, it would not be my place to criticise Sir Enolf, but it does bring us great sadness that we cannot achieve the same accolades those that other citizens of Oxfordshire can. We are hoping that our fortunes will change, and that is why, one of the reasons why, we wanted to make sure we had the right addition to our bloodline.
I'm honored.
And someone who would know the true meaning of loyalty to their family.
Always.
Is there anything else that you want to... No?
Chit chat.
So there is a bit of chit chat.
I need to relax now.
And you're just kind of relaxing and prepping yourself for that time. Okay, let us jump to Velvet.
Just the other dysfunctional side of the family, who's also very sexist.
I
I'm not sexist.
No,
my
your
line.
side of the family is very sexist.
Yeah.
My side of the family is like mostly like women and me.
Your side is the victims, your side is the perpetrators.
This is ridiculous. That's
So-
why I have my gun.
you are not in the main museum itself, but your meeting is actually in the museum.
Okay.
So you're kind of literally next door to court. You are in the building that court is going to take place, but you are in like a kind of a side conference room.
Okay. I mean,
Rather
I
than
assume
in
they're
the-
like next door, so I. Yeah.
No, they're
Like,
yeah. So you can
yes.
totally assume that.
Yes. Yes.
They don't count. When Wallace gets out of the car, he will go to the boot and wait, and the driver will get out. You don't recognise the driver, by the way. And he will open the boot up, and he will take out what looks like a military sabre, and Wallace will then attach it to his belt.
I thought he was going to say gun.
And shut the boot. The driver will then get in the car and
Yep.
will drive away, and you will make your way into the museum itself. Now, inside there is quite a nice the room. You're not sure it normally has this furniture in it, but there are nice big kind of padded leather armchairs. It looks comfortable, and there are quite a few people in the room when you arrive. So when you come into the room, you will immediately see there is someone who has the head of the room position.
Yep.
Who's a man who looks in his mid-20s, who has a centre parting, short brown hair, and is wearing small glasses. He is wearing a suit, not a military suit, but a smart suit that it's a triple-breasted, quite old-fashioned looking blue suit. You will notice he does have a signet ring on his hand.
Does it match mine?
Does it match yours?
Yeah.
It does look familiar. Looks
Head of a
similar.
patriarchy.
It does look like perhaps there is some resemblance, yeah.
You guys are the worst.
You will also see sitting kind of in a chair next to him, but slightly separate. So the first man I described, who you assume is Rafe,
Yes.
has, if you like, a little bit of space to either side of him.
Yep.
So this is I'm in the kind of commanding position. But there's a cluster of chairs to his right, and sitting in one of them is a man who looks maybe in his early 50s, and he looks kind of lived in as a man. Like he looks like he's had a life of sorts. And he's wearing quite a dark blue velvet suit. And
I like him.
He's one of the only... Because most of you haven't met, obviously, many kindred, but the ones that you have met have nearly all uniformly looked really gaunt or thin or slender or things like that. But he doesn't. He looks quite plump. And he has quite a broad grin. Like he'll even raise a hand in greeting to you as you enter the room.
I greet him back in the same fashion.
I don't trust that bloodline.
Sitting there are some chairs like next to his, close to his, and you can see two more people sitting in those chairs. One looks like a young boy in his late teens, he's quite a scrawny looking white child. He's got a very neat side parting that's been you could literally set a ruler by it. And he's wearing a suit and a tie. The tie looks like it's a little uncomfortably tight. But he looks like the model, like he looks like he should be probably in a choir, or he looks like a kind of golden boy, very, very sensible. And then there is another even younger looking, looks maybe not even in her teens, who has got like pigtails and is wearing a very princess-like, beautiful dress, and even to Velvet's eye, strikingly expensive jewellery. Like the rings she's wearing and the necklace she's wearing look like they cost an absolute fortune. Yeah, they look like the real deal. And she's sitting very kind of prim and proper, like just perched on the edge of her seat, trying to look like the proper little girl, right? So these are the people that are in the room waiting for you when you arrive.
Okay.
And Wallace will say, "May I present my child, Velvet."
Do I have from him anything I'm expected to say at this point?
No, you haven't been told that there is a specific thing. They all know who you are. You are from their bloodline. It's not.
Fine.
It's not essential.
In which case, I've been at family gatherings before. This is fairly familiar to me. Not this type of family gathering. I will say, it's a pleasure to meet you all.
So, Rafe stands up, and everybody else stands up, and he will walk over, and he'll hold out a hand.
I shake his hand.
He has a firm grip.
I do too.
Yes.
That's good.
And he will say, "Welcome to the family."
Well, it sure is a pleasure. Thank you, sir.
Now, because there are a few matters of business I wish to discuss, and then we will get to any of your business, as this is, after all, your night.
Yes, sir.
He goes and sits down. Everybody else starts to sit down. You will see there are only 2 chairs that have not been occupied.
Okay.
There are 3 chairs that are not occupied, and they're all on his left.
Okay. I wait for Wallace to sit down.
Wallace goes and sits in the chair nearest to Rafe.
Okay, I sit in the chair next to Wallace, if there is one.
Yes, there is one. There is one. So you've sort of got like a V formation.
Yep.
Where you've got kind of Rafe at the point where they meet, and then you've got the kind of the man in the velvet suit and the 2 very young looking kindred on one side, and then Wallace and you on the other. And Rafe says, "This court is an important one for us. I want you to all make sure," and he will gesture, you think for your benefit, that Rupert, he points to the man in the velvet suit, receives your support. We want him to look as promising in court as possible. We have certain requests going to the prince on Rupert's behalf, and I want him to agree to them. And everybody nods. He says, "Now, I understand that Velvet, a member of your coterie, is from Clan Bruyere."
That's right, sir.
Now, what's his name?
Silas Chaucer.
This is the second new kindred the clan have been allowed in less than a year. And the first one, Daniel, he is not here in Oxfordshire. I want to know where he is and what he's doing. It is unacceptable that the rest of us are made to wait for a kindred who does not even take up residence within the city. It is disrespectful. And I can only imagine the clan have some business in mind. I want you to ingratiate yourselves with the Brujah. See if they know anything. It may be he's been set on some kind of quest. Some kind of... They may be trying to fast track him towards knighthood. And if that's the case, we need to know. There are odds. Good. Well, aside from that, make sure you all introduce yourselves to Velvet properly. Now, Velvet, you will soon be meeting the prince.
Yes, sir.
You may have questions about that. We all have gone through what you are about to go through. And it is important that you do well. You come from, I would say, the most respected line, save for the princes himself within Oxfordshire.
Yes, sir.
Court itself can be a difficult and dangerous place. You will always know that we will have your back. Should you find any kindred treating you in a way you find distasteful or difficult, then seek out one of us and we will provide any necessary support.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that.
Now, in the interest of tradition, Meliore and her line are having a separate meeting. It is believed that traditionally the focus should be on your needs, and should there be two of you, we would have to split our loyalties, and that is not something that we do in this clan.
Understood.
He looks to Wallace. Says, "Where is Seth? He's late." And Wallace says, "I regret to say that Seth will not be attending court tonight. He is not in the correct frame of mind for such social activities." Right, he says, "I see. Well, do pass on that he will be in the correct frame of mind at the next one. I will not have people talking." Wallace says, "Yes, sir." Right, he says, "Good. Well, Wallace and I will be talking a little more on certain matters. The rest of you may talk amongst yourselves." And he and Wallace turn their chairs slightly towards each other, and you're suddenly kind of weirdly removed from the social group.
Okay.
Are you... what does Velvet do?
So I've got Velvet Man and the two younger people.
Yes, you believe
Correct.
Velvet Man is Rupert.
Okay, yes.
That is Rupert.
Although I do like Velvet Man as a sort of super heroic moniker. Go on.
Okay. So I will stand up from where I am and make an approach to Rupert and offer him my hand.
So Rupert will stand up when you approach, and he will take your hand and shake it with both of his.
Okay.
Quite kind of... He does not have the kind of iron grip of Rafe. He does, however, have quite a kind of vigorous handshake, quite enthusiastic handshake. And as he's about to speak, we'll take a break.
Oh my god. Okay, so... Whoop.
I'm doing the tradition.
Honoring the tradition. So, first things first. We have 2 new patrons. So,
Yay!
big shout out to Angerat and Altamirage.
Thank you, Tasha. We love you.
Okay, that's, yeah. So,
That.
yeah, it's like Altamira, which it means like high view in Spanish, but it's mirage at the end, so Altamirage.
We definitely need to do tutoring.
Yeah.
Yeah. definitely need to do that.
Thank you, Angrad. Thank you, Altamiraj. Mirage.
Thank you.
I butchered it. I'm sure I butchered it. Oh. And for those of you who followed Blood on the Thames, specifically the most amazing segment, Malop, or Moses' amazing list of places.
I asked about this earlier. It's very interesting.
So Malop, for Blood on the Thames, I think I did a rundown of at season 4, like at book 4 of all the places. It turns out someone is watching. Yunbug is watching from Turkey, from Izmir in Turkey, but they're watching Blood on the Thames. They left a message on the YouTube, so I think he should be added to the old Malop list before the new list for Blood on the Tamesis comes. Which is gonna be the Theodore's approved list of
Places.
nice sites.
Oh.
Or talons.
Ooh.
So, yes, we're gonna be doing sort of like a Malop for Blood on the Tamesis. I'm just joking with the acronym, but I think I will do something similar. So starting today, let us know where you're watching us from, and if you already did it for Blood on the Thames, let us know so we know you're watching again. So we have our demographics, but also a huge shout out for all of you. It's amazing that we're being watched all over the world. It's not like a figurative stuff. Like we have had people from Australia and North and South America, Europe, Middle East, everywhere. And it's amazing because this is the labor of love and sharing out all those amazing places where you are watching us from is always a great joy for me. So let us know where you're watching us from. Don't be lazy, do it. Or mess with Mitch on the Discord and have him keep like a record or something. I don't know. You are the Disaster Ghouls and you're amazing. Love you.
Can we have a hashtag mess with Mitch?
Yes.
Yeah. It will be the mess with Mitch. Yes. Relationship map time.
Relationship map. There's no state.
No, tonight like since it's 3 of us.
It's like you initiate me into this and then you just change everything.
Well,
It's just like being a
what
vampire.
kind of monsters
Yeah,
are we?
exactly.
we're
It's like real life RP life.
We're
Anyway,
bad.
relationship map. So, the new relationship map is up to date. First and most important, we have some great new artwork on there. So shout out to Kanto for the art of Barnaby, which is fantastic.
Yes, thank you.
And also to Angarad for Sally, which is great. Thank you very much. I've added those in.
Yeah,
they're
and
great.
they look amazing.
They look amazing.
I think I think that's half of the old coterie done.
Yeah.
No, pretty much all of the old coterie done except Isabel, and
Wallace.
from the new coterie, Wallace. As far as the sires go.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, that's been really good. Let me think. What else did I add? So we added
The Thinbloods.
We added all the Thinbloods. We added the Mortals. We added Freddy, Velvet Song.
Oh yeah.
I also added a couple of other tags. So there's a tag for Dustborn if you want to feature that. There's also a tag for Dead, of which there's only one. Peter assures me there's more to come.
Yeah. Guaranteed.
A
Yeah.
dead tag.
A dead tag. So we've got all that on there. We've also added just a link from for those people who've done more amazing artwork of some of our characters. That's up on the Tamesis website. Yeah, in Edmund's Gallery. So there's a link to that from those characters. And then lastly, we had a couple of updates for our characters' perspectives on each other. I know Joanne had some additional thoughts about everyone. Velvet had an additional thought about Theo, but I'll come back to that.
Not as good as the first set, I'm afraid. Joanne's first, now impression of Silas is she thinks he might be a potential ally in whatever cause she's got going. Theo is dangerously untrustworthy.
He is a big teddy bear
No.
with a gun.
No. And Velvet, you see, Joanne can read people quite well. And her reading of Velvet is that he keeps his lack of self-worth in check with unchecked aggression.
Wow.
Thank you. Yes, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
in the Theo stakes, think the update that I applied for Velvet was, wow, I'm 0 for 2 in venture I can deal with. wait, now it's like 0 for 6, and I'm interested in this guy Seth. Yeah.
That's fun.
So just worth mentioning that the relationship map is available on the website on the ShrekNet files page, so you can check it there and you can interact with it there right now if you want to.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right now.
There are
Obviously,
attacks, mess with them.
This session has a lot of new SPCs flying in left, right, and centre, so there will be a big update probably at the end of the week with all of these characters.
Also,
if you're trying to remember who everybody is.
Also, if you haven't caught up, we gave shout-outs to people who threw fan art our way, and we ended up putting it there. So you will see that the art for all the characters is going to be very different. Of course, the character for the character portraits for the relationship map are the amazing work of Cedar that she did for the stream. But everything else that you see there, every other character that has any art on the
all going to be done by you?
Yes, already has been done and will be done by you. So hit us up with your art concepts and drawings of people that you like, and there's going to be a lot of SPCs. So let's get cracking because I cannot draw for my life. So please aid me. Do we have any questions, Callum?
Yeah, I think we have a couple of questions here and there. The first thing is for you, Peter. Everyone wants you to message to Dilly, and can you tell him how much everyone loves him?
Yes.
Aww.
I can absolutely do that.
Yep.
That's a lovely thing.
That's very lovely.
Exactly, like we all miss Dilly here.
We approve wholesome messages. Yeah,
exactly.
yes.
Yep.
All right,
But only one? One per session?
Yeah, well, yeah. Otherwise, I might feel things. Like,
okay, next question. Who's dealing out the Jaffa cakes this week?
Our new.
It's my fizz rapper Phil.
Yes, in honour of Phil, Bex became our Jaffa dealer for today.
Yeah.
So get better, Phil. But it's just so we can all share Jaffas together.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's not that we need more Jaffas.
At all.
Any more for any more?
We just got the one more, but come on, Disaster Goals, we need more questions. So, Bex, your accent is absolutely amazing.
Oh, thank you.
How long did it take for you to practice?
Right, 25 years of running a horror western game called Deadlands.
You too can have an accent that's good. Yeah. 25 years.
Yeah, I mean, it sort of developed over time. But thank you, that's very kind of you to say.
Atlas is a really cool.
It's my burning building game, I call it. If all role-playing games were to be destroyed and I had to rescue one from a burning building, Deadlands is the one I would rescue.
See, that'd be Monster of the Week for me.
Legend of the Five Rings.
Legend of Five Rings is number 2 for me.
See, we're close in the priorities.
Yep.
Anything else from the ghouls?
I think it's quite quiet tonight. I'm not giving them for more.
Okay.
No, that's all good. We love all your questions, and we also love you strange stalkers who watch us silently.
Probably not call them strange.
Okay, lovely stalkers. Lovely, friendly
Who
stalkers
strangely
who
stalk
watch
us in silence.
silently.
What did I just say?
Thank you
Alright,
very
cool.
much.
So, shall I plunge on?
Yes,
All right.
I think so.
So, Rupert has taken your hand and is shaking it with both of his. He says, "Rupert Turner Smith, absolute pleasure to meet you.
Sure thing. Pleasure to meet you too, sir.
Why don't you bring your chair, scoot it over here a little bit, and we can have a proper chat."
Absolutely. I get my chair. I'm already getting a stress headache from understanding him. I get my chair and move it over. Can I make it so it's facing like the group of them?
Yes,
Yeah.
and they are very much sitting in a group.
Yeah.
He says, "I'm sure it's all very confusing. There's so many all at once, but so we're clear.
Right.
Sir Rafe is also my sire,
Right.
and these are my beautiful children,
Well, it's a pleasure to meet you all.
Jeffrey
and
Anne."
Anne.
Jeffrey gives you a slightly cheeky smile and then goes back to his I'm very good demeanour. And Anne gives you a kind of princess beam.
Well,
Such a pleasure.
Well, it's a pleasure of mine. I was sort of hoping that I might be able to get some advice from y'all. You said you've all been through this process, and obviously I want to put my best foot forward. So.
Oh yes, quite. We have all been through this process, of course, and more recently, and Jeffrey than I have. But yes, we can give you lots of advice and tell you anything you need to know. It's very important we stick together as a family, I think.
I agree.
So, you must be going to be one of the new Veems.
The what?
Your Coterie, Velvet. Your Coterie. It's a Veem.
Right.
He glances over, he says, has Sir Wallace not told you?
Oh, no, he did tell me. It was a lapse in my mind. I'm sorry.
Because sometimes, you see, I can be a little... Well, I can get rather enthusiastic to help, and some people are very strict on when you know things and how you know things, because it's a tradition here in Oxfordshire.
Right, what? How you know things and when you know them?
Oh yes, you don't just tell everyone everything, even someone of family, because they have to prove themselves. See,
well, that's what I'm hoping to do today.
Yes, it's a little like a series of gates one has to pass through.
Right.
And you're about to take your next step.
How many more gates are there after this one?
Oh, well. I would say just one more, really.
Right. What is that?
No, you see, I'd love to tell you, but if I tell you, no,
Right.
See, what'll happen is, when you've when you've spoken with, and had the great honour of meeting our prince, and assuming he approves of you, then you will become a petitioner. A petitioner to join our city. And then, oh no, I'm saying too much already. But then the herald will explain what you must do then after. And then of course we'll talk all about it. As much detail as you like.
Right, well, thank you. I mean, that sounds pretty straightforward.
Oh, indeed. Things are very, very straightforward, very clear.
Right.
Very clear. Clear rules. All you have to do is follow the rules and everything will be absolutely fine. That's the point.
Right. Well, that seems pretty straightforward then.
Now, might become relevant later on. You see, there are several different coteries within Oxfordshire,
Right.
and your sire is not part of any of them because he's a knight. He's above such things. But you yourself have been placed, I understand, with
A group of folks.
indeed a group of other fresh young kindred pairing to enter the city.
Right.
And I know Anne wants to talk to you a little more about this, but so I won't keep you too long. But I wanted to say that that coterie that you are going to replace in time is a Veem. That is a coterie that enforces the Masquerade
Oh, right.
in Oxfordshire. And also does certain other tasks, such as are required by, gatekeeper.
Oh, Sir, hold on.
Quite so.
Right.
Well, of course, there are two.
Right, I only met the
But
one of them.
you only need to worry about one for now.
Right.
You won't need to worry about the northern end of things. That's another Veem deals with that.
Oh, right, well then I don't gotta...
Indeed.
Right.
Of course, we will probably meet some of them in court, all things being well.
Maybe? Right.
Yes, quite. Oh, well, this has been absolutely wonderful, marvellous, good.
Well, I turn my attention to Anne and say, did Rupert, he said you knew something else about this? Or you had something else to say on the matter of coteries?
No, it's not so much I know anything, it's just I wanted to ask you, you said earlier that Silas Shaw was in your coterie, but there's some
Right.
other people too, aren't there?
Right, sure.
But who are they?
Why do you want to know?
She looks down at her dress. Says, well, I was just wondering if perhaps you had a Toreador in your coterie. Oh, please tell me. Please.
What's it worth to you? I mean, I'm just asking because Rupert was just tutoring me, information. We don't tell everybody everything.
Oh, yes, but I'm family. I'm
Right,
different.
but he just said
No,
family.
I'm special.
Don't do that.
Yes, No, it's not. No, it's not. He's talking about the others when you go into court, not me.
Yeah, we got a toreador.
Really?
Right.
What are they like?
I mean, you ask me, pretty darn easy to manipulate.
Oh, wonderful.
I mean, they all are.
So she starts to scoot with like little hopping motions her chair closer to yours, only by a little bit, but to kind of make the point, and leans in. Oh, Velvet, I think we're going to get on splendidly. Tell me more about this. How would you manipulate the toreador?
This one or any of them?
Oh no, this one.
This one.
Okay, can I just check? Did you know who their sire is?
Well, yeah, I met him once.
Okay, do you know his name?
Sure.
What is it?
Now we're into a different sort of negotiation.
Well, I mean, there aren't many toreador in Oxfordshire anymore.
No,
I
well,
think I
that
already
makes
know.
it-
I just want to hear you say it, just so I know for sure if I'm right.
But if there aren't that many toreador here, surely it's just easy for you to figure it out for yourself, right?
I suppose so.
And you're older than me, right? You're better at this than me. All you must be. I only just got here. I only just learned how to do this stuff.
Yes, no, I am normally very good. I'm just rather excited. That's all. It's fine. I'll. Can you do me a little favour?
What's that?
If the prince does let you into court,
Right?
can you point out your coterie mate to me?
I'll make you a deal.
Yes.
I'll tell you those things you want to know.
Yes.
You tell me what Rupert wasn't going to tell me. What is it unlike to be asked?
That's very naughty.
Just between you and me, right?
She seems to think about it for a moment. She says, "All right,
All right.
I'll tell you, but not here because he'll overhear, and if he overhears, I'll be in trouble.
All right.
I'll tell you.
Let's go someplace else then.
Yes, that's a brilliant idea."
I know, right? I'm good at ideas.
She looks across to Rupert, who's chatting with Geoffrey, and says, "Velvet and I are just going for a little walk." And Rupert says, "Well, don't go too far because, well, we might get word from the Herald soon. We must make sure that Velvet's here when that happens." "I won't go far, I promise." He says, "Well, all right, Anne, but just 5 minutes, all right?"
5 minutes it is, sir.
Thank you, Rupert. And you scoot out.
Yep.
Just what do you want to know?
I want to know what this third stage is. What exactly is going to happen?
So what happens is, if you're accepted, when you swear the oath, that's not becoming a citizen.
Is it not?
No, it's just you're showing the prince that you have the right values and you are asking permission to be accepted, but you can't just walk in. You have to earn your place, you see?
And how do I do that?
Well, that's the interesting bit. You have to do things to impress the prince or the city, such that people will speak in your stead who are already accepted into the city, you see?
Like what? What did you do?
Well, I did all kinds of things. So for example, I helped cultivate a very, very special vintage of blood so that could be offered to one of the knights. And he was so pleased that he then spoke to the prince and said I was very good and I should come into the city. And that's how I got in.
So you did this over time, right?
Yes.
You,
Yes.
you didn't rock up with this in mind.
Oh, no.
Right.
I didn't even know because they wouldn't tell me because they didn't have a friend like you have in me, you see?
I got it.
Yes.
Okay.
So
whenever I've done the thing, then that's when I can become accepted.
yes,
And then I'm...
You impress people within the city, and then they speak on your behalf to the prince. And when the prince is satisfied that you've proven your worth to the city, then you're recognised formally, and there's a little ceremony, and then everyone treats you like a real person.
And then I'm responsible for my own actions, right?
Oh yes. Once you're recognised, then you're under the prince's protection.
Right, okay.
Because at the moment, you're under your sire's protection, but you don't. You don't really exist. Not really. I mean, if your sire if you disappeared tomorrow, the prince isn't going to do anything.
That wouldn't happen.
He's not even going to raise
Wallace
a
is a
finger.
good guy. He's not gonna.
Oh no, Sir Wallace wouldn't, but some sires. Oh goodness, they're monstrous.
Well, I'm lucky that I don't have that to deal with.
You are very lucky.
Indeed.
Lucky to be born into such a lovely family.
Right.
Yes.
Well.
Now you're going to point out your coterie mate.
Right.
And you're going to tell me what's the name of their sire.
The sire is Barnaby. Right.
Oh, splendid. Oh, good. I did hope so. I was so hopeful. Wonderful.
It's
Thank
really
you.
good to know we can work together.
Yes. Oh, yes, we can. I think we're going to be the best friends.
I think so too.
Right, we should go back from
We
our
should,
walk.
in case I get called.
Yes. And you go back. And I'll cut to Joanne.
Oh my god.
So, after you've exchanged this comment of, you have lots to talk about, he will let go of your hand. And goes and sits back down. He, Barnaby, I should say, does not join you in the booth. But he goes and leans on one of the bookcases. Kind of, you could, if you raised your voice slightly, he would hear you. Thorn, however, has remained close by, and Alistair looks at him and says, "Were we observed?" And Thorn says, No, no one's here. I says, "Good. I want you to do a circuit check again. He says, I wouldn't put it past them to be spying." Thorn says, "Yeah, right you are."
They trust you that much?
Alistair says, "I think you have the right of it." For a moment, Thorn seems, because you're quite perceptive on people, Thorn seems a little reluctant to leave. But he does. What's your insight and, wits pool?
5.
So hard will say down to
Down to 2.
2. You will note that Alistair watches Thorn go with a slight quirk of his lips. A fond smile. Thorn lips. I imagine you have questions.
A whole myriad, but there's been something in my mind ever since Barnaby told me about this bloodline I have been brought into. What did you do?
What did I do? Nothing. Perhaps that surprises you. You might think, being so fresh from the world of man, that surely I must have committed some terrible sin, some crime against the city, to be treated thus. But we are no longer in such courts or such places. My crime, my sin, if you will, is to be of the same blood of another who displeased the prince, and such that my presence would remind the prince of that person. You see,
I have that name, yes. And I have also been advised it would not be wise to bring it up in anyone's presence, really.
then you have good advice. The prince has become quieter of late. That does not mean that his temper has entirely subsided. Oh, Joanne, if only you had come to us half a century ago. What an Oxford I could have shown you then.
Things change that quickly? Even in your long lifespans?
Things can change dramatically even for us. Yes.
From, the information I'm gleaming at the moment, it seems I have an uphill battle ahead of me.
You do. But you have an advantage. You see, I was there when our clan fell from grace in Oxford. Barnaby was there, you were not. It is my hope, my dearest hope, that you will not be tarred with the same brush that we have been. On your shoulders rests the hope of our bloodline, the chance for us to return to the good graces of the Prince. Because if it is possible for me to be punished for the actions of those, my ancestors, so too must it be possible for your actions to set me free.
So with that, she kind of just looks up to the ceiling and goes, and if you'd told me about all of this a year ago, I wouldn't have fucking believed you.
No, and that is the way of it. But I'm told that we have reason to be hopeful, that you have the strength of character that will go down well in Oxfordshire. He leans forward slightly. Is that true, John? Can you be strong fast?
Well, something that people didn't take incredibly well, that I am a surgeon.
I do not understand. Being a surgeon is a very respected career and shows you have a keenness of mind and, one assumes, a steady hand.
According to my Coterie mate, he seemed to admire the fact that I could, well, this is my words coming, but stay detached while so close to cutting people open, so to speak, even as we are now.
Yes, it is something all of our kind wrestle with. Something the Prince values most highly is the ability to control our base urges. Now, some might say that his behaviour of late, but whatever they might say, I would not say. And he glances around the room slightly nervously. But your ability to control those urges, even under provocation, will allow you to survive. That is the most important thing. I am not expecting you to dazzle the Prince. The Prince is ancient. I am just expecting you at this stage to be accepted into the city. Simply do that, and then we can work from there. But we will work from there. You have to get me out of this predicament.
I will do my best.
He'll lower his voice slightly. He says, between us, he says, it is my belief that you are Barnaby doing his best to help in this situation. He has suffered too. He is not. We have all suffered in different ways. And alas, I have not been able to protect him from what befell us all. And though he was not as close to things as I was, he was still punished.
I'm going to lower my voice as well and just say, I know he wants to help, he wants to try, but he has been doing his best. In different ways than I assume a lot of other people do, but he's not been doing badly. And I can tell there has been things weighing on him, but with time.
I, of course, am sympathetic to my child's reaction to things. However, the city is less sympathetic. I would strongly counsel you to not play out any difficulties you are having publicly. Be the model kindred. Do not rise to the many baits you will be given by those at court. You will see, I regret that you will see my treatment, and I would say, please do not judge my behaviour to be how I truly feel. Merely what I will endure for the sake of our bloodline's honour. And I would encourage you to use that same resolve you've used in the past, that same strength of character to hold back the beast. to not lash out at any who try and taunt you. At the moment, it is an open season upon those without blood, for those who wish to have their fun. But of course, things change. This is but a small amount of time. Once, our clan was the highest with the Nosferatu here in Oxfordshire, and that time can return. I should warn you, Prince of recent years has become insular. Do not take his lack of words or lack of attention. Do not expect to hear much from him. But watch, he will give you signs. Do not let any confusion or frustration show in your face. He will see. He may not give anything away, but he will see, and anything that displeases him will find its way to you in the fullness of time. So, Joanne, sweet, sweet Joanne, do you have any questions? Anything you wish to ask of me? I trust Barnaby has taught you the oath.
Yes.
Good.
Are there any, I want to say traditions, but standards I should uphold, so to speak? Anything I should know going in? Should I bow? Do I kneel? Anything along those lines?
Kneeling is appropriate.
Okay. Eye contact, or do they not appreciate that here?
You can make eye contact if you wish. However, it is also appropriate to lower your gaze, particularly if you are being corrected or something of that matter. But if the prince is speaking, you should look at him.
Eye contact only when called upon. Got it.
Excellent.
This is like dealing with the fucking board of directors over again.
I see you have something of Barnaby's colour. Because if you could not bring that within 100 miles of the prince.
Of course.
Good, good. I am sure you know exactly what you must do now. I wish you good fortune.
And to you, Alistair, I
will be in
do
court.
not envy your position.
And by all means, you may speak to me in court, but beware, it is not safe to speak privately there. Especially not for us. They watch me all the time.
Do you have reason to believe they are now?
I have reason to believe they will try. And he looks at you for a long moment. Can you make a composure plus subterfuge roll, please?
Oh, okay. One success.
How is Joanne feeling?
Very much I just have to get through this. Otherwise I'm going to fucking die. Again.
He smiles at you. He has... I mean, there is a haunted sadness to this man, but nevertheless there is something like an ember of what was once something more. And he's the kind of person that he has when he smiles at you, it does make you kind of want to almost smile back in a sense. And he says, it will be difficult, but it will end.
One way or another.
Yes, one way or another.
Let's just hope it's the good one. If there's anything I can do in my limited time as is, let me know, okay?
When you are accepted, when you are truly part of the city, then we will talk again.
I
Then we
look
will
forward
talk
to it.
for a long time, Joanne.
I look forward to it.
As do I. As do I. And that's where we'll pause with you there. So, I think we're about to get to exciting business, but before we do, let's briefly cut back to Velvet. There's something I need to catch on. Wallace comes over to you.
We've gone back in the room.
You come back
Yes,
inside.
yeah.
As you come back in, Wallace is walking over, like as
Okay,
you're coming
yep.
to the door, he'll start walking. And we'll do a very nice little curtsy. It says, "So Wallace," and says, "Miss Anne," and she takes the hint and leaves.
I take the hint and stay.
Yes. There's something extra that I thought you should know. Once you have sworn to the prince and been recognized as a petitioner to Oxfordshire,
Right.
you will then be brought to court by the herald. And you will be presented for all of the kindred to see. Now there's a tradition that is not for everyone, but for those with steel inside, those from appropriate bloodlines. Well, one can ask for a test of mettle, a way to prove themselves to be above just your average fledgling coming to Oxfordshire.
Alright.
So, when you are introduced by the herald to the court, it is my expectation, and indeed the expectation of Sir Rafe, that you will be asking for a test of mettle.
What can I expect that will involve?
That will involve the prince picking a knight, most likely Sir Francis. You will stand there before the court and you will take a blow from Sir Francis. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you. Sir Francis hits hard, even to the people she likes. But if you take that blow, you take it well, you take it like a man, then the court will notice. The court will appreciate the kind of person you are, appreciate your steel, and they will see you are not just some fledgling off the streets. And they'll see you're not some accident of some over-eager sire. They'll see you are a man with potential. They will see that potential that obviously your sire saw in you. They will see the good judgment of your sire. You understand where I'm going with this.
I understand. I ask this of the herald.
You can ask it of the herald, yes, or the prince.
Right.
The herald will, if you ask him, approach the prince will decide if you are worthy of such a test, but of course, you are from a line of knights. The child of a knight was the child of a knight was the child of a knight, so the prince is going to say yes. He's not going to say no to you. But what the prince might do, if he doesn't like you, he might encourage Sir Francis to hit you a little harder. Right. So my advice to you is you impress the prince.
Right.
You show him that charming smile you got. I know you got that smile. You show him that. You show him just what an important person you can be for Oxfordshire. In that brief time you meet him. And then, well, Sir Francis probably hits you much as Sir Francis hit anyone, which is to say like a train. But at least, you'll have a chance. Don't matter if you are knocked back. It don't matter if you are hurt, and you will be hurt. What matters is that you look him in the eye, and you are still standing when he is done.
So the most important part of this is that I don't fall down.
It's not a question of whether you can be punched or not. It's a question that you are willing to sacrifice for Oxfordshire. You are willing to suffer for Oxfordshire if Oxfordshire asks it of you, and if it does, that you can take it and still be standing afterwards.
Alright.
All right. So you got any other questions?
Yeah.
Well, you best ask them, because I hear some footsteps coming down that hallway.
Why'd you do this to me?
Why?
Why?
Because it's important to keep things in the family, Velvet. That's why. And because I've got good judgment. You better prove they're true. There's a knock at the door. And for the two of you, in your locations, there will also be knocks at the door. And they will be the servants of the Herald come to tell you that it is time to prepare for your meeting with the Prince. So, each of you will be led. You're obviously already in the museum, so you don't go very far. You will go to another small room. You will get there first, so you will be on your own.
Okay.
It is almost like a small cloakroom. There is a bench set into the wall, with some quite pretty kind of carvings on the arms of it. There are coat hooks and a couple of paintings, and that's about it. But it's a clean, nice room, but it's basically a kind of a waiting room, really. The two of you will arrive not long afterwards. Silas will also be there. He will be looking smarter than you've normally seen him. And he will be putting his hat on the hook immediately that he arrives.
Wow.
Serious stuff. In addition, there is another person who we brought in to join you by one of these servants. She looks to be in her early 20s, looks to be of African descent, and the thing that is striking about her is there is something odd. So she has no hair whatsoever, no eyebrows, nothing, and there is an odd kind of shininess to the cast of her skin, almost synthetic-y, or like it looks too smooth. You can't see any wrinkles in it. It looks a little bit uncanny valley. You know, there is when you look, you think, what? There's something weird going on here. She is dressed in a reasonably smart dress herself. However, given that Velvet is wearing like a tailored suit for the occasion, and Theodore is immaculately turned out, and Joanna's in this wonderful dress, she looks like she is cheaply dressed for the occasion. She looks underdressed. And it is clear for those of you, in fact probably to all of you to some degree, that she realises that about 10 seconds after you arrive into the room. And she is kind of, she's will kind of smile slightly awkwardly at you all.
Hey.
Just nod at her.
Hello.
Evening.
How you doing?
Okay.
I know it's that sort of night, right? What's your name?
Soap.
Soap. I
Yeah.
got that right? That's the right pronunciation.
Yes.
Right. I'm Velvet.
Hi, Velvet.
Hey.
Apologies, Miss Soap. Theodore Penn.
So it's just Soap. Just Soap. That's fine.
Joanne Salt.
Silas will also, he almost goes to the tip of his hat and then realises he's got it, he introduced himself nonetheless. You've not been waiting very long when the door opens and another person enters. They look to be maybe somewhere late 30s, early 40s. They are super pale. They have near white blonde hair, which is cut very short, and they have a single stud, golden stud, in their right ear. They are quite tall. Sorry, they're not that tall actually. They're quite short and quite lean looking. They are wearing black robes with like gold trim, white lacy kind of collars, and a sort of white shirt beneath, again with a kind of a white ruff that comes over, gold bands around the arms, proper like old school, and they do regard you all with not, there isn't much warmth in the expression that you get from them. You're not sure if they're capable of warmth either. I mean, maybe it's just their state of undeath, you don't know. But they kind of regard you all and say, I see the fledglings have arrived. I am Jason Alcott. I am the Herald of Oxfordshire, and it is my duty and honour to take you to meet the Prince.
Sorry, you said Jason?
Alcott.
Alcott.
He says, I assume that you are Joanne Salt. Is that correct?
Correct, sir.
A Toreador. Marvellous. And you must be Theodore Penn.
I am indeed, Mr. Alcott.
Yes, the import.
Yes, so to speak, yes.
As I have heard most interesting things about you, Mr. Penn.
Hopefully all good.
Remarkably, yes. And so, expectations will be especially high in your case. I trust you will rise to them.
I'll do my best.
Looks to you, looks to Silas, looks back to you. Velvet Riley, I assume?
That's right, sir.
The child of Sir Wallace. Always a pleasure to have such a distinguished person in our company. Which will mean you will be Mr. Silas Shaw, of the clan Brewyer. Silas, yes. Yes. Another well-respected bloodline, which can only make you Soap. And Soap says, yes. Of the clan Nosferatu. Yes. Good. I will be taking you to meet the prince. However, the prince will not suffer you all at once. So I will be taking you one at a time. Understand that should you meet with the prince's approval, you will not be returning to this room. There is another room where you will wait. It is much like this one, but with more prestige. Now then, Mr. Runn, I believe the prince wishes to speak with you first.
Yes, sir. And go with him whichever way he leads.
Okay. So, he will take you into the museum itself. So it's this huge open room. You've got an arched glass ceiling, lots of exhibitions, and including, for example, the skeleton of a T-Rex, which is huge, and lots of other really, like, on another day you'd be going, oh, that's interesting. However, there is an area in the sort of centre of the room that has been prepared, and in that space is a palanquin that has been set down, and sitting upon the palanquin is a figure that fills it. He is... You have no idea how old he is. You can't actually see a lot of him. He's kind of slightly hunched in this chair. He's wearing thick furs that look like they're worn partly over armour. And he's got a large hood that obscures most of his face. The bits of his face that you can see the skin colour seems kind of dead, like dead skin, and grey. And his eyes seem sunk too far back in his skull. Indeed, most of his skin just seems like it's on the retreat or dying somewhere. However, he's mostly cast in shadow. And he looks massive. I mean, not only is he quite a big guy, but he's also got these kind of thick, heavy furs over armour, over a cloak. So he's just this sort of weirdly larger than life figure. But he sat slightly hunched forward, kind of arms pulled slightly in. And he's wearing quite thick Gorvit. And it's like a statue. It's like a mummified statue. He's not doing anything. He's not looking around. He's just kind of there. But the herald will walk with you, and then about 10 paces away will stop, and he says, "My prince, may I present Velvet Riley, child of Sir Wallace Benoit." And he makes a gesture, a slightly dismissive one, towards the floor.
Okay. I go from wherever I'm standing. I kneel on the floor.
Yes.
And then bowing my head. Am I supposed to deliver the oath now, or am I supposed to wait? I don't know.
It's a bit odd. You're not quite sure.
Then I keep quiet.
Okay, so you wait.
I keep quiet. Yeah.
You're aware. You hear the rustle of the herald's robe as he moves to the prince's side,
Okay.
and there is a sort of a whispered discussion. Well, at least you think you hear the herald's voice. You don't hear the prince's voice. And then he says, "The prince will honour you with his ear."
Okay. I say, I, Velvet Charles Raymond Riley, child of Wallace Benoit, Knight of Oxfordshire, child of Rafe Byron, Knight of Oxfordshire, child of Sir Engel von Bessenheim, Knight of Oxfordshire, child of Hildebrand, child of Hardestedt, child of Eric Agerman, child of Ventry, do swear to serve my lord and prince, Sir Drogo de Barrington, never the beast, to commit no deed to bring shame upon myself, my blood, nor the domain of Oxfordshire, to fear God and his church, to allow no false words to pass between myself and my brothers. May this oath bind me to Oxfordshire and its prince, now and forevermore. You look up when I say this, and I look down when I'm finished.
So after a while, feels like quite a long while, you hear a slight movement. There's very little else to sounds stand out of the herald. And the herald says, "The prince has heard your oath, but he has a question for you. Tell the prince what you feel, what you have taken to understand of your sire. The prince wishes to know what you make of Sir Wallace."
It's my duty and my honor to be born into a bloodline such as his, whose deeds and whose name go back many hundreds of years before my time. My blood carries with it glory and duty and honor. And that is something that I hope and intend to continue on. My sire is known to be the best of all tutors in this regard.
So I would like you to make
Nice.
a charisma plus subterfuge roll, please.
Do I have any of my specialisms yet?
What specialisms would you like to apply?
Bluff?
Okay. So just to say, this is not a contested roll. This is you trying to meet a difficulty.
Okay.
There are more than one difficulty. There is, if you like, the baseline,
Yep.
and then hooray!
Yeah, hard mode,
Yeah,
nightmare.
yeah, exactly.
God mode.
Hell.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like
you can choose to rouse for this roll.
Oh yeah, I think I should do this.
So you can add an extra dice.
black die. Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Let's go then.
Let's have with the
You
can.
can also spend willpower if you need.
If you want to reroll.
Let's spend some willpower.
Okay.
So you can reroll up to 3 black dice.
3 black dice without successes. Those 3. Just so far you have 4 successes. 6 successes. No crits.
6.
That's a good roll.
Successes.
I've got more hunger.
make
Now you
a
do
rouse
a rouse check. Because you don't go hungry.
But I didn't drop the
You
willpower.
did a blood surge when
Oh,
you
yes.
Yes. So you basically
you did
drew
spend your
upon the
willpower.
power of your blood to basically do this in the best way that you could.
Yeah.
You did spend the willpower, but the blood is not spent.
Okay.
So you got a total of 6.
Yes, I think so.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
six
Yeah.
successes.
So after, did you say you're looking at the floor?
Yes.
Okay, so you were looking at the
When
floor.
I speak to him, I'll look at him.
Okay, so when you finish speaking, you look down, you wait. There is another longish pause, and then the herald says, "You may stand now, and come with me."
I stand and follow him.
He once you've gone through, he says, "A most eloquent speech, Mr. Riley, one that we would expect from one such as your fine breeding. Far be it from me to speak of those above my station, but I believe that the prince was not displeased with your efforts.
Thank you, sir.
This way." And he will take you to a room. Of course, there's no one else there. It's just
Yay!
you have a little bit of time.
I made it to room 2!
You're in room 2.
Yeah.
Room 2 does look a lot like room 1.
And now you have to choose between
I
the left and the
prepare
right
myself
door.
to get hit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. When the herald leaves, are you?
Do I
is there
just give him the
anything-
coin? I've given him the coin.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes. Sorry. Yes. Very
Yes.
good point.
Yes.
Bad storyteller. So yes, the coins that you received, you will have presented to the herald when you first met him.
Yeah.
That's a bad estimate. Slap wrist. So you are in the room,
Yep.
preparing yourself to be hit.
Yeah. That's what I'm expecting. And the next thing I have to do is go and ask to be hit, so.
So the herald will come back to the room that you're in. Is there anything while that's going on? Are either of you two doing anything?
Probably engaging in small talk. If so, is the chatty type.
Yeah, she's a little bit chatty. She's quite happy to chat. She's a little bit nervous about all of this. She will say at one point, do you think? Do you think my dress looks alright?
Oh yes, I believe you're perfectly dressed for the occasion.
Good. Good.
Tonight's dress code for us for all of us, including you, should be a thing of personal choice. You're gonna present yourself to the prince. You're gonna give him your oath.
Yes. I've been practicing.
I have been made to understand that the prince is far more concerned with the true sincerity and sentiment behind the words of your oath and your actual desire to serve him than whatever you can be wearing. You could be in rags, you could be naked, you could be
Oh God, I thought of that.
you could be bathed in filth. As long as you go through your oath and mean it, there's nothing you should fear. So I believe you are actually more than adequately dressed. I tried to ease her a little bit of her.
She does seem reassured by your efforts. Joanne, what about you? Anything you're doing?
She is to the side, kind of just like.
Okay. So, the herald will return. Now, as the prince is ready for the next petitioner, he looks to you, but then keeps moving. Doesn't even look at Soap. Eyes come to you. He goes, "Theodore N. This way,
I'll be
please."
right back. And I tell Soap, it'll be alright. And I just a small wink.
As he's leaving, I'll just catch his eye and just go.
And I present him with the coin.
Yeah, he takes it, slips it away into his sleeve. I see you have taken your first step.
Beg your pardon?
So now you will take your next one.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
And he will lead you, much as you velvet, into this chamber. Huge space, empty, apart from this one figure sat in their throne of sorts. Again, just watching, but not moving. I mean, obviously you know because you are used to dealing with an old kindred who doesn't move very much. So this is not too freakish for you. This is pretty much, oh yeah, well of course.
Yeah.
Maybe this is what they all do, right?
Yeah, apparently.
Nevertheless, there is something hard. There's nothing to read. There's nothing to kind of go off. But you will be led by the herald forward and directed to Neil. And he will say, this one is the child of Isabel Tedesco. And then, sorry, did you say you were going to do something?
Yeah, well, I just, it's not one knee, I just go full kneeling position, you know.
Okay. So kneeling, hands like fists on hips.
Yeah. On thighs. Hands on thighs.
Fists on thighs. Okay. Hands on thighs. All right. Hands on thighs. Both knees on the ground. You're sat down.
And I am waiting for the go ahead. I've been through this motion several times in the past.
So this feels pretty familiar to you. You will see the herald goes over to the prince's side, seems to whisper in his ear, then puts his own ear kind of close to the prince's mouth. You don't perceive the prince's mouth really moving particularly, but nevertheless, after a moment, the herald straightens and says, "The prince will honour you with his ear."
I nod at the herald. Reminds me of the old man. And I, Theodore Penn, child of Isabel Tedesco, child of Meliore Tedesco, child of Sir Enolf von Fassenheim, Knight of Oxfordshire, child of Hildebrand, child of Hardestadt, child of Erik Eigerman, Knight, child of Ventru. Do swear to serve my lord and prince, Sir Drogo de Barentin, and never the beast, to commit no deed that brings shame upon myself, my blood, nor the domain of Oxfordshire, to fear God and his church, to allow no false words to pass between me, myself, and my brothers. And then I go full kneeling, forehead in the ground, and I scream at the top of my lungs. May this oath bind me to Oxfordshire and its prince, now and forevermore.
Then you hear the herald move again. And the herald says, "The prince has a question for you. He wishes to know if there are any in this domain or beyond that you hold in higher regard than himself."
I do not, my prince. I address him directly.
Okay.
I did have a lord in the past. Someone who, just like yourself, would appreciate honor and tradition. You know what? Fuck it, I'm gonna gamble it. And I go for the little box, and I present it forwards.
So the herald will move forward and he will take it. It seems this one has a gift for you. Would you wish to see it, my prince? There is no discernible reaction from the prince, but after a beat, he will move it. He will go towards the prince.
As he moves, allow me to elaborate, my prince. My former lord understood the value of tradition And it is customary, when presenting oneself to a lord of a domain, to bring a gift. And in this case, it is a trophy of sorts. A war trophy I acquired by following the instructions of my old master. Back in the war times, when one of the enemy lieutenants needed to fall, I brought that ring to my sire to let him know what had transpired and that I had indeed completed the deed. This is a man who held me in high regard after that, and I did him. He allowed me to keep this trophy. One that it turns out belongs to a branch of noble families. One that has fallen from grace. One that is related to other noble families in France and Switzerland and here in Britain. It speaks both of timelessness and also the weight of our actions and how a fallen bloodline can end up serving evil even unto death. These have been imprinted in me by my old lord. But he is my old lord. He is my lord no more. I am now a kindred of Oxfordshire, for here I was embraced on a noble bloodline.
Okay. So,
This is where I die.
because as Isabel warned you in your previous discussions, this is a gamble of sorts.
Yes, it is.
So what that means is the difficulties are higher,
Yes, they are.
but if you meet them, then
I will die slowly.
there is potential extra goodies. No, it's only bad if you don't meet them.
Yeah,
So,
which is, yeah, what will happen.
off you go. Oh, sorry, you'd like to know what you're rolling. I think I'm torn. But I think probably charisma.
Mm-hmm.
I think probably charisma. And
What was your other thought?
my other thought was composure. But I think probably charisma.
Yeah.
Because this is about
Your
religion.
prerogative, yeah.
And I'll let you choose between etiquette and persuasion.
I think I'm gonna go with etiquette.
Oh, the other option is if you say I've got perform oratory or anything like that, I would obviously let you.
No.
Storytelling or something.
No, unless he likes breakfast, pancakes and stuff. And
I mean, it could be his Achilles heel. but we're gonna
could
assume-
be, but we're gonna
not.
assume not. I'm gonna do a blood
Yes.
search for this.
Okay.
And Chad, just hand me your energy, please. Oh, this is awful.
Oh,
This is
God.
absolutely awful.
Are you doing funny things?
I am
Just
one success so far.
Well, you never know.
I am willpowering
Yeah.
just to get 2.
Okay, let's see what happens.
I got 1 success total.
Okay.
God.
So, here's the thing.
I will go hungry. No, I don't.
Okay.
That's the only saving grace. I will have enough blood to die slowly.
So, you can succeed at a cost.
Oh, yes.
Would
Yes.
you like to know what the cost is?
Yes, please.
The cost is
That's the ring of his son.
that the prince is going to take this gift as you saying, I'm a warrior. And that means that should you take the test of metal, he is going to get,
Nasty.
he's going to make sure it is a proper test, befitting. So,
I need the toilet so bad. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, it's okay.
I'm really nervous.
That's how I feel. You're channeling your inner Carlos.
so yeah, if you succeed at a cost, what it means is the prince is going to basically say, oh, okay.
He would
so
be expecting me to do the test of metal.
He's saying this guy wants me to treat him like a proper warrior, so I'm going to treat him like a proper warrior and give him a really tough run.
Yes, I assume that is what I deserve for being a gambling stupid idiot.
Awesome,
Good.
awesome. So, you make your speech, and there is a pause, and after a while, the prince and that's it.
Mhm.
But the herald says,
Who's an expert in sign languages, apparently.
it seems the prince will accept your gift and your promise of loyalty, though you should not go around calling yourself a kindred of Oxfordshire quite yet.
My apologies.
I'm sure you will prove your apologies at the appropriate time.
That's where you get the hint of you better take the test of metal. Yes, this is me putting my foot in my mouth.
The prince looks forward to seeing you proving yourself. Clearly you have great talent to acquire such a trophy before being embraced. And with that, you are escorted from the room. You will, of course, be taken to the room where Velvet is.
Okay.
So when you two end up in the same room,
It's like, ventral room, apparently.
The
It's good to see you, at least.
the herald will leave. Well, he'll just say, remain here until we have dealt with the other fledglings.
I take my phone out
Mm-hmm.
and text Miyuki.
Okay.
I love you. I will always remember you, or something stupid.
Okay.
Not something that dramatic. But it's like, I hope you're having a lovely night. Kisses.
Okay. So you're going with the latter version. I hope you're having a lovely night. Kisses.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. She'll know something's wrong because I am taking time off of my stuff.
Yeah.
But I don't want to make it like it's stupidly dangerous.
Okay.
I do not text my
But
wife
get the
at
first
all.
aid kit ready.
So you-
Sorry?
I do not text my wife at all.
Why? You have a wife? Okay, so you don't text your wife. You do text Miyuki. You are now in the same room. Is there anything you two are saying to each other whilst you're here?
No, basically, I was a meeting with your bloodline.
It was strange and odd, but I mean, I think it went all right. I'm sitting here, so I can't make too many complaints.
Yeah, likewise. Mine was normal stuff, just the people I knew, so it's
Right.
no big deal.
So there was, I don't know, like 6 people.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh no, mine is like small.
Oh, and there was one guy who didn't come, but I don't know him. I didn't know any of them apart from Wallace. I mean, I met him now.
Oh. And how is Sir Wallace doing?
Well, he seems to be having a good night. I'm sure it'll be better for the fact that I'm sitting in this room and ain't somewhere else.
Yeah, well, hopefully this will make our sires proud.
Yep. Let's hope so.
I'm always checking the phone to see if Miyuki just panics or just sleeps. Hopefully she sleeps.
To remind me exactly what your text was again?
Hope you had a lovely night. Thinking of your kisses. That's it.
Okay. You will get a text back that says, looking forward to chatting when you get back. Kisses.
I might be way too late. I'll make up for it with extra special breakfast some other time.
I'll stay up, is the reply.
Oh my god.
So,
There's gonna be a domestic.
Yes.
meanwhile, back in room 1, the herald arrives, looks at you. Mr. Silas and then...
As he walks out.
Okay.
You're left with soap.
Yes, you are left in the room with soap. Are you
Race
saying
to the
anything
bottom.
to soap?
Nope.
Okay. She will say, just us left then, I suppose.
Yes, it looks like it.
Nosferatu and the Toreador. Great combo.
I like your dress, by the way.
Thank you. It was going to be my wedding dress.
Oh. There's an awkward silence. So a bit more time passes, and the herald will come back. And he says, Miss Joanne Salt, the prince will see you now.
Stand up, slightly bow to him. And
Okay. He takes the coin, examines it for a moment, and then pops it away into a sleep. The traditions are observed. You have paid your way, and now you may swear your oath to the prince. And you go into, as they did, the large chamber. The prince is there. He doesn't move. You have the sense that he is looking at you, but you don't really have much more sense beyond that. It will strike you from a medical perspective that the very little you can see of his face, like his mouth is slightly open. You've worked on cadavers, and it is like a cadaver.
Yeah.
But this cadaver does seem to be watching you. That's the main difference.
It's like going through the morgue and just seeing eyes follow you.
And again, the face is in shadow, but you do catch the glimpse of his teeth within the shadows of the cowl, and they are. You've seen vampire teeth now. His seem like grown-up vampire teeth by comparison. They seem bigger. They seem almost more like the kind of thing you'd see in an animal. And that's the only reason you can see them, because his face is mostly in shadow, but the teeth protrude slightly into the light. The herald gestures for a spot for you.
Before I'm even introduced, I'm kneeling on the floor, looking.
Yeah. The herald says, "This is the Toreador, Joanne Salt." Then you hear the swish of his robes. And then after a while, the prince will do you the honor of hearing you.
Well, then I would like to pay back your honour by making the oath. I, Joanne Olivia Salt, child of Barnaby Jones, do swear to serve my lord and prince, and as I say prince, look up him, and then back down again.
Okay.
Sir Drogo de Barentine, and never the beast, to commit no deed that brings shame upon myself, nor the domain of Oxfordshire, to fear God and the church, to allow no false words to pass between myself and my brothers. May this oath bind me to Oxfordshire and its prince, now and forevermore. Stay looking down.
There is a pause. And then, the prince has a question for you. Joanne Olivia Salt of Clan Toreador. He wishes to know if you accept the sins of your sires as your own.
I more than accept them as my own, and I intend to redeem myself and any that may have come before me. Looking at the floor.
There is another pause, and now we come to the exciting dice bit.
Oh shit.
So
Please get all the luck I didn't have.
I think in your case that we are going to say it's probably... Now, just as a quick check-in.
Yeah?
Because some people at home might be thinking, how honest is Joe? Like, what we're trying to decide is this really a manipulation? Or is it charisma? Is it subterfuge? I mean, I'm thinking at the moment it's probably charisma and subterfuge. But you could make an argument for persuasion if you wish. And if you have another skill where you're like, but wait, I have the making the oath specialty on my etiquette skill. Oh yeah, etiquette as well you could play for?
No, I think that's a fair pool being given there, but I will be rousing because
Yes.
otherwise my pool will be 3.
Yes. Always rouse. This is a good pool to rouse for. If you're in any doubt.
You can do it!
Oh,
Come on, Joanne.
Come on, you can do it. I believe you want to willpower this too.
Yeah.
I mean, success. Oh, that's a success. Well, I mean, the things that you cannot reroll the red
It's
die.
up to you if you want to willpower, but
Yeah.
if you
2 successes is.
if you
two
can get any
successes.
more, well, it's up to you. I mean,
yeah.
if you want to chance it, go. Oh, okay.
2 successes.
Well done. You said that without moving on. So 2
2 successes.
successes.
And the check.
Yes. No.
2 in 1 session. This will never happen again.
Would you like to succeed at a cost?
What's the cost?
The cost is that the Herald is going to bail you out, and that you will know, and he will know, that you basically owe him.
Yes.
Okay. So when you make your
Solidarity.
when you're waiting, the Herald says, I think it would be most appropriate for Clan Toreador to repent their ways. Perhaps some new blood will bring a fresh perspective to the clan. The prince says nothing. But the Herald goes closer, and there is a whispered conversation. You hear the Herald talk quite a bit, occasionally pauses, seems to listen. I assume you're not using heightened senses. Correct answer. And then he says, "Oh, most merciful, my prince, most merciful. You may come with me now." And he will escort you out from the prince's company.
As they're going, I'll
You make another bow. The prince simply watches you go. You do feel his attention doesn't leave you until you've actually left the space. You will be taken to the second room, where, of course, these two are.
And maybe Silas. Who
And maybe
No, Silas does not come in. So you come in.
immediately goes over to the corner and starts fucking dry heaving.
Are you okay?
Alright.
Are you using Blush of Life, by the way?
Yes.
So that sort of natural, nervous...
3 in a session. I'm fucked next session.
Alright, you're gonna go to Hunger 5 in a second.
As a sort of natural reaction to this stress thing, your body starts to replicate the old things that you used to do when you were alive. And actually, it's good. It's good to be able to do something physical. So you dry heave in a corner. What do the two Ventru do?
I go to see if she's okay.
I just wait
I move over.
until it passes.
Okay.
I let her have her fit.
You wait patiently. You go over.
Jill? You alright? Oh, sorry.
I
Jill.
am.
Sorry.
I'm not out of this scot-free.
What happened?
The Herald pulls some strings.
Jeez.
Classmate of yours?
I don't know. I suspect a sadist.
Why would you suspect that?
He seemed very eager for me to atone for things.
If you were in his position, and fledglings came one after the other, I mean, if you had the chance, without risking your neck, of helping one of them and getting something in return, wouldn't you do it? As part of your work. This probably sees everyday stuff. And probably not only fledglings. If he's the Herald, he oversees more than fledglings and introducing themselves. That guy curries in favors, I would assume. So...
And now I'm under his
So
wing.
whatever else, you made it here. And that's gotta be good, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't know.
I'm alive and
I don't know
that's-
what happens if you don't make it into this room, but it can't be pretty, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where's Silas?
What do you mean?
Hasn't he gone?
Hasn't didn't he?
He left before me.
Oh.
Now I go and check my phone. It's like, yes, see you when I get home. If I get home tonight.
Okay.
I go to my phone, like old man going to his phone.
I call
I
Silas.
pretend, yeah.
I call Silas.
You call Silas.
Yeah, I've got his number.
Okay. You phone Silas. Yeah, we'll go to answer then.
I leave a message.
What's your message?
Silas, where you at? We all, Dr. Salt said you came on through before she did, but you didn't get brought to where the three of us are. So, sort of worried about you, pal. You can check in when you get some time. Just leave a message. Like that message, and then...
Okay. So, after a while, door will open. The herald will be there, and so will Soap. She looks...
So she's the last one to come.
Yeah.
Well, she's with the herald. She looks very stressed. And she's rigid. And the herald says, shortly I will be bringing you to court. However, we must wait for the others to arrive. And this allows me a little time to speak with you, Miss Salt, on a little clan matter. This way, please. He looks at Soap. You may wait here. And she goes in.
Look at Soap, and I nod.
Okay, yeah.
I go to Soap.
Okay, so Joanne and Harold leave, door shuts.
Well done, kiddo.
Yeah. Nailed it. Right?
Yeah.
Nice work.
Can I tell you something?
Sure, always.
Or can I ask you something? Do you know who your sires are?
Sure. Why?
I don't. I don't think they like that.
Wait. What about accounting?
What? Well,
Well, if you're sorry, you don't know who your sire is. They sired you and just left you, right?
well,
That's gotta be.
well. There's another one who's adopted me.
Yeah. Whomever took you under their wing,
Yeah,
they are your sire.
Yes, but he's not my sire.
No.
I can't. When I had the oath, I had to say, but I could only say my name, and there was this really awkward moment where they stopped me, and I didn't realise it was such a bad thing to not know. I mean, I thought it was bad for them. I thought it was bad that they made me without staying, but I think the prince is angry with me.
I think you need to have a conversation with your mentor. And I would advise, for all intents and purposes, think of him as your sire.
I do, but I didn't think I could say his name.
Why?
Well, because he's not my sire. And they seem to be very proper here.
Yes.
I
They
don't
are
wanna make a
proper.
mistake. He told me I shouldn't make any mistakes. I should be really careful. Only say the truth. He said.
Yeah.
That's what he said.
What's
said
his
they
name?
know.
What's his name?
Rick.
Well, then, in future occasions, instead of presenting your lineage, say that you are the mentee of Rick and present his.
I'll do that. Thank you.
So people will know that you're not a direct child of the bloodline, but you are under their care.
Sorry, was it Theo?
Theodore.
Theodore. Sorry, Theodore.
Theo is just for my friends and close families, but Mr. Penn will do.
Mr. Penn.
Yes, Miss Soap.
It's just Soap. Mr. Penn.
Just present him his bloodline. Honor his bloodline.
Yeah. Yes.
And let people know what your connection to the bloodline is. There's no shame in not knowing.
Okay.
And I just sit back again and start thinking, and I delete what I wrote, and I read it again, and I delete it, because I don't know what to, like, after her messages are like.
So whilst you're trying to figure out what to say, you are taken outside by... He says, whilst the court begins to assemble, and before I present you to them, there's a small matter that needs to be discussed. You mentioned that you wished to raise the standing of your clan and bloodline within Oxfordshire, and the prince, in his mercy, has a way for you to do just that. It is an ancient tradition known as the blood tax. Twice a year, you will be expected to bring blood to the prince's domain. Now, of course, you could bring any old blood. You could. But you, I am sure, can appreciate that someone of the prince, his standing and age, and the type of guests the prince might entertain, will have refined tastes.
And need something special.
I see you have quick mind that will serve you well. I will be in contact with the details of how you might deliver your blood tax and when it will be expected. But for now, you may enjoy basking in the prince's mercy and benevolence, and prepare yourself for the joy that will be caught. I can tell you that there are many who will be most interested to meet you. It is not often we bring new petitioners into the city.
I thank you for the opportunity.
And of course, when you are recognized, you and I might pay a little visit to the boonkeeper.
I suppose so.
I suppose so indeed. Yes, Miss Joanne Olivia Salt, we will get on famously. Shall we return to the room where you might rest with your fellow fledglings?
Indeed, and I am looking forward to working with you.
So you are taken back to the room. Anyone doing anything? So a little bit of time will pass. Silas does not return. And then the herald will come to get you. And you'll be taken back to the room where you met the prince. But when you're brought inside this time, there are other people there. Several other people, in fact. You will recognise some of them. So, for example, you will recognise Isabella and Meliori there. You will recognise Alistair and Barnaby.
Is Sally there?
Oh, yes, of course you'll recognise Sally. You will recognise... Finn won't be there.
Yeah.
But you will recognise, in your case, obviously, Wallace, Rupert,
The brood.
Yeah.
There's
Sir Holder?
Sir Holder will be there. Geoffrey will be there. But even all of those people do not make up the entirety of the gathering. At a rough count, in rough ballpark terms, you think there are around 35 to 40 kindred in the room.
and there's someone I'm looking out for. Can I see him here?
Right, can you make a wits and... no, not wits. Can you make a resolve and awareness roll? And can you make a wits and awareness roll, please, Velvet?
I'm too distracted by the fact that I'm going to die. I'm contemplating my own death.
I don't think you're...
In a zen manner.
Fail.
Complete fail?
Complete fail.
Okay.
I'm
You didn't get
rousing.
any skulls, did you?
I got 2 fails on 2 dice.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but no,
Yeah, no,
no,
that's
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
fine.
no bestial.
Yeah.
So it's
I'm
quite-
rousing.
You're rousing? Wow. Get in there.
5 successes.
Okay, you scour the room.
Yeah, there we go.
There we go.
You scour
Hunger
the room. The blood surging through your veins. You are determined to spot this guy. This ex-member of Parliament. However, he's not there. You are convinced that he is not there once you've done it, and you've done a thorough look at the room. You will see all kinds of people looking in your direction. One of the things that you will note, because some people stand out more than others, it's a whole room full of people, but you will notice that some people in the room are wearing armour that looks like it's straight out of history, not all from the same bit of history, and that those people are also carrying weapons. And they are the only people visibly carrying any kind of weapons. When I say weapons, I always mean old school, either a sword or something of that nature. So no one is carrying an AK-47 or
a grenade launcher.
Wallace has still got his sword.
Wallace still has, his military saber at his side, yes. And the herald will say, "Kindred of Oxfordshire, we have several new petitioners here tonight. Theodore Penn,
Step forwards.
child of Isabel Tedesco. Velvet Riley,
Step forward.
child of Sir Wallace Benoit. Joanne Salt,
Step forward.
child of Barnaby Jones. And he pauses. Soap. Of no particular lineage of Clan Nosferatu. I trust you will treat them in the traditional manner. And then he turns and looks to you all. Those of you with any kind of politics or etiquette will get the sense he is giving you a space to say something. Joanne, you probably have no clue what it is, but
I step forward.
so you're stepping forward.
I will do the same.
So these two step forward. So glances at you and like a.
No one told me about this.
Okay, so what's
I would like to petition for the test of metal.
I will say, I would also like to petition for the test of metal, but I'd like it to be one worthy of my lineage.
Well. He turns to the assembled.
As they say that, I'm going to step forward.
Oh, shoot.
And what is this?
I would also like to petition for this test of metal. And I would like my hands to be bound in chains.
Goodness, it seems our new petitioners have a flair for the dramatic.
I shoot a glance at Soap that says, if you're thinking of stepping forwards, I myself will test your metal. Because I know what's going to happen, and I don't know if the girl...
Okay. Soap gets the message and does not step forward.
Okay. Because I don't know if she knows what the test of metal is.
Nope.
She doesn't seem to be in...
I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I know you don't, but I couldn't stop you. But I can stop her, unless she's knowledgeable of what's going on. This is going to be carnage. At least let one fledgling survive, okay?
Total carnage.
I have a soft spot for the Nosferatu. As in Carlos, not Theodore.
So the herald says, "Let us see if the prince is willing to grant your requests. Such," and he turns again to it, he says, "so rare. He says, I cannot remember the last time we had such a test of metal, and now we have 3, all in one night." He goes to the prince. Everyone's looking at the prince. Quite a lot of interest and excitement. Actually, it's quite quiet as the herald's making it. So there is like a murmuring and a muttering you'll hear. Sally's clapping. She thinks this is great.
I'm excited. This is the first time I'm going to get hit and get something out of it.
So
I will die.
I'll die
again.
So after a moment, the herald says, "The most wonderful news. The prince has decided to grant all of your requests and has taken note of your specific desires. Sir Francis, might you bring chains?" And you will start to hear the clank of someone approaching in armour. It's hard to tell what Sir Francis actually looks like, because she is encased in armour and a heavy cloak over the top, a medieval Western style. The armour looks like it has been kind of dented and battered in battle multiple times and knocked back into shape. But it has not been polished. Some of the armour you can see here is polished and shiny, whereas this is dull and looks like it's been through, like scratched. It's been knocked back into a functional shape, but it bears signs of many, many combats, one kind or another. So Francis wears a full-face helm, which kind of encloses everything in, and a black plume. She has at her side what looks like a flail with a spiked ball on the end of it. And
Fantastic.
is also making her way. Let me just make it quick. Yeah, is making her way. Do you remember I described Alistair as very kind of elegant? No, this just looks like the kind of thing you would just, chain up a gate with or something. There's some old chain. And you hear not only the clank of the chain as she walks, but also of the armour. And she's heavy. And it echoes in the space. And there's this weird sense of maybe almost of theatre, except you're on the stage and you don't have a script. And there's a sort of an awful sense of the scrutiny being directed upon you. You're aware of the prince's gaze upon you. You're also aware of lots of other people. So Francis will approach you.
I'll turn my back and put my...
Tall, you realise, now that she's here. She's really tall. You put your hands behind your back.
Has hand my bum back to be chained?
You feel the chains being tightened and tied until they have held you in place. And so Francis then moves around to the front. And the herald says, "My prince, which of the 3 petitioners do you wish to see take the test first?" And the prince goes. And the herald, it doesn't seem to, just says, "Of course." He says, "The first to take the test will be..." And that is where we're going to end. So thank you ever so much for those of you who came to listen or watch us live, or for those watching us on YouTube. And if you would like to know who passes or fails the test of metal,
and who just fucking dies,
and who just dies,
Hashtag
mess with Mitch.
mess with Mitch.
hashtag mess with Mitch. And if you want to find out what happened to Silas, then come see us next Monday at the usual time.
Thank you very much to everyone. Cheers. Bye.
Bye.
You have my appreciation for watching this episode of Blood on the Tamesis. If you'd like to keep up with all the latest news, you may follow us on Twitter and Facebook. And remember, if you want to join us live, be sure to tune in every Monday at 7 p.m. on Twitch. Or you can catch up on YouTube and our podcast. And an especial thank you to our supporters on Patreon and all of you charming disaster ghouls. We will see you next time.